These bikes are piling up, abandoned, and dealers can't move them. If you're thinking about buying a motorcycle in 2025, you need to hear this. Some bikes are now worthless, and I'm counting down the top 10 that you should avoid at all costs. Number 10. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. Harley-Davidson Sportster S was supposed to be a game changer when it launched in 2021. With its Revolution Max 1250T engine pumping out 121 horsepower and a sleek modern design, Harley aimed to pull in younger riders while keeping the old-school cruiser fans hooked. The marketing was relentless: billboards, YouTube ads, even a featured Sturgis, promising a blend of that iconic Harley rumble with cutting-edge tech like liquid cooling, a slipper clutch, and a digital dash. But here's the harsh truth: nobody's buying it in 2025. Dealers are drowning in inventory, and the resale value has crashed harder than a bike on icy roads. Why? Let's break it down. First, the price tag. Over $15,000 new is a gut punch for most riders, especially when you can snag a used Yamaha MT-07 for $7,500 and get smoother handling, better fuel economy, and a lighter frame at 400 pounds compared to the Sportster S's hefty 500. Second, Harley's caught in the crosshairs of the Chinese motorcycle boom. Brands like CF Moto are rolling out bikes with comparable power, full-color TFT displays, and ride modes for half the price, leaving Harley looking overpriced and outdated. I chatted with a dealer in Texas last week who sounded desperate. He's got Sportster S models gathering dust on the lot for over a year, even after dropping the price to $13,500. Riders on forums are brutal, calling it a poser's bike. All flash, no substance. One guy on X posted a photo of his unsold Sportster S with a caption, $13,000 paperweight. Any takers? If you're eyeing this bike, don't do it. It's a financial trap in 2025. Number 9. Kawasaki Vulcan S. The Kawasaki Vulcan S hit the scene in 2015 as a dream ride for beginner cruisers, with its 649cc parallel twin engine pushing 61 horsepower, adjustable ergonomics, and a low 27.4-inch seat height. It promised an accessible entry into the cruiser world. Kawasaki even boasted about its ErgoFit system, customizable pegs, seat, and handlebars to fit any rider's body. It was a hit with newbies looking for stylish, manageable bike at $7,000 new. But in 2025, this bike is piling up at dealerships faster than you can say market crash. What went wrong? The Vulcan S hasn't seen a major update in nearly a decade, and it's showing its age in a big way. The tech feels stuck in 2015. No ride modes, no cornering ABS, no TFT display, just a basic analog gauge that looks ancient next to newer bikes in its class. Then there's US tariffs on motorcycle imports, which have jacked up prices on Japanese bikes like this one, pushing MSRP to $8,500. Hardly a budget buy anymore. I stumbled across a Reddit thread last month where a rider shared his heartbreak. He bought a Vulcan S for $8,000 in 2023, and now he can't unload it for $4,000, even with low miles and a clean title. Dealers are desperate, offering discounts left and right, but the market's moved on to bikes with more bang for the buck. So if you're a newbie, skip this and check out the Honda Rebel 500. It's cheaper at $6,500, more modern with optional ABS, and holds its value better. The Vulcan S is a fading star in 2025. Don't get burned. Number 8. BMW R18. BMW thought they'd struck gold with the R18 when it launched in 2020. This retro-styled cruiser boasts a massive 1,802cc boxer engine, the largest BMW's ever made, pumping out 91 horsepower with a low-end torque that could pull a tractor. It was dripping in chrome and nostalgia, a nod to BMW's classic bikes of the 1930s, marketed as a luxury cruiser to rival Harley-Davidson's Softail lineup, with a price tag starting at $17,500. But in 2025, it's abandoned. Dealers can't give these bikes away, and the story is a wild one. First, the cost. $17,500 is steep when most cruiser fans are looking at bikes under $10,000, especially with inflation squeezing wallets. Second, it's a beast to handle, tipping the scales at over 800 pounds. Compare that to a Harley Softail standard at 650 pounds, and you'll see why new riders are intimidated. Third, the market shifted hard. Riders want lightweight, tech-heavy bikes like the Yamaha Tenere 700 for off-road adventures, not gas-guzzling throwbacks that get 30 miles per gallon on a good day. I spotted a listing on Cycle Trader where an R18 was slashed to $12,000, and it's still sitting there, untouched for months. BMW's betting on nostalgia with this bike, but it's a losing hand in 2025's market. If you're tempted by the chrome and retro vibes, save your cash. This bike's a relic of a dying trend. Number 7. Yamaha V-Star 1100. The Yamaha V-Star 1100 was a legend in the early 2000s, affordable, reliable, and the go-to for riders craving that retro cruiser vibe without emptying their wallets. With its 1063cc V-twin pumping out 62 horsepower at a price point around $7,000 back in the day, it was a hit with budget riders looking for a classic look with a shaft drive for low maintenance. But in 2025, this bike is worthless on the used market, and the tale is a sad one. Yamaha pulled the plug on the V-Star 1100 in 2009, and while it once held its value for budget riders, the market's left it in the dust. Parts are becoming scarce. Try finding a carburetor rebuild kit without paying through the nose on eBay. Carbureted engine struggles to meet modern emission standards in states like California, where you'll need costly mods to make it street legal. Without updates since its prime, it can't keep up with fuel-injected rivals offering much better tech like the Kawasaki Vulcan 900, which has ABS and a digital display for $9,000 new. I caught up with a mechanic buddy who told me he's seeing more V-Star 1100s headed to the scrapyard than the highway. One owner on a forum said that he paid $4,000 for a clean one in 2022, and now he can't get $1,500 for it, even with a fresh paint job. If nostalgia's calling, I feel you. But don't buy this in 2025. It's a maintenance nightmare waiting to strike. Number 6. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R roared onto the scene in 2006 as a muscle cruiser with a 1,783cc V-twin engine, pushing 128 horsepower and a beefy 240mm rear tire that screamed power. It was designed to take on Yamaha's V-Star and Harley's big dogs like the Fat Boy with a price tag of around $14,000 at launch. With its aggressive styling and raw grunt, it turned heads, or so it seemed. But in 2025, this bike is a total flop on the market, and the story is a roller coaster. The M109R hasn't seen a refresh since 2019, and it's starting to show in all the wrong ways. The tech's stuck in the past. No traction control, no modern display, just a basic analog gauge and raw power that feels out of step with today's trends towards efficiency and connectivity. On top of that, it's a gas hog, getting just 32 miles per gallon when fuel prices are climbing past $4 a gallon in some states, putting off cost-conscious riders. Dealers are slashing prices. I saw one listed for $9,000 on Facebook Marketplace, half of its original $18,000 MSRP, and still no takers after months of sitting. I talked to a Suzuki rep who admitted they're stuck with overstock, with some dealerships refusing to take more units. If you're after a power cruiser, the Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Vaquero is a smarter bet at $17,000 new, with better resale value and modern features like cruise control. The M109R is a dinosaur in 2025. Let it stay extinct. Number 5. Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom has been a cruiser favorite since 2010, packing a 745cc V-twin with 44 horsepower, a low 25.6-inch seat height, and that sleek, blacked-out look that screams attitude. It was a solid pick for riders wanting style on a budget. Priced around $7,500 new, with a reputation for Honda's bulletproof reliability, but in 2025, this bike is struggling to find buyers, and the reasons are piling up like unsold inventory. The Shadow Phantom's design hasn't budged much in over a decade, and riders are noticing. They're demanding more: standard ABS instead of an option, better fuel efficiency than its 48 miles per gallon, a modern dash instead of the basic analog setup, and this bike's falling short. Meanwhile, the Chinese motorcycle boom has brands like Benelli dropping similar cruisers for thousands less, like the Benelli 502C for example, offering 47 horsepower and a digital display for $6,500. I checked eBay last week, and used Shadow Phantoms are fetching as low as $3,500, even with low mileage and aftermarket pipes. Honda's loyal crowd keeps it alive, but it's not keeping pace with the times. If you're set on a Honda cruiser, the Rebel 1100's your better bet at $9,500, with its tech upgrades like ride modes and stronger resale value. The Shadow Phantom's a fading shadow in 2025. Don't get stuck with it. Number 4. Triumph Bonneville Bobber. The Triumph Bonneville Bobber is a stunner. Retro styling, a 1200cc parallel twin engine pumping 77 horsepower, and that minimalist bobber look that oozed cool when it launched in 2017. Priced at $13,500, it aimed to blend classic vibes with modern performance, complete with a single seat and a low 27.2-inch seat height for that authentic bobber feel. But in 2025, it's piling up at dealerships faster than you can say market crash, and the story is a twisty one. Triumph overpriced this bike for what it delivers, pitting it against rivals with more tech and better value like the Yamaha Bolt R spec at $8,500 with ABS and a more practical ride. The bobber trend's fading fast. Riders are shifting to adventure bikes like the BMW F900 GS or sport nakeds like the KTM 890 Duke for versatility over style. I spoke with a Triumph dealer who sounded defeated. They've had bobbers languishing on the lot for over a year, even after a $2,000 price cut to $11,500. On the used market, they're dropping to $8,000 and still no bites. One writer on X posted, "Traded my bobber for an Africa Twin. Best decision ever. Bobbers are just for show. If the retro vibe's your thing, I get it, but this bike's a bad investment in 2025. Steer clear." Number 3. Indian Scout 60. The Indian Scout 60 was Indian's motorcycle play for affordable cruisers. A 999cc V-twin with 78 horsepower, classic styling, and a launch price at around $10,000 when it debuted in 2016. It aimed to bring Indian's heritage to budget riders with a low 25.6-inch seat height and a stripped-down look that echoed the brand's storied past. But in 2025, this bike's abandoned on the market, and the tale's a tough one to hear. Indian's parent company, Polaris, is grappling with the Chinese motorcycle boom. Brands like Cove are rolling out bikes with more tech, ride modes, TFT displays, even heated grips for half the price. The Cove 510X, for example, offers 47 horsepower and adventure-ready features for $6,000. The Scout 60 lags behind with just basic ABS, no ride modes, and an analog gauge that feels dated. Riders are labeling it overpriced for beginners at its current $11,000 MSRP. I spotted a used Scout 60 on Cycle Trader listed at $5,000 with no takers for months despite being in pristine condition. A forum post I read said, "Bought mine new in 2023, now I can't give it away. Everyone wants tech." If you're eyeing an Indian, the Scout Rogue's a smarter pick at $12,500 with better tech like a digital dash and stronger resale value. The Scout 60 is a pass in 2025. Number 2. KTM 1290 Super Duke GT. The KTM 1290 Super Duke GT was built for sport touring fans. 1,301cc V-twin, 175 horsepower, and a tech suite that included cornering ABS, ride modes, and a quick shifter, but it last got a major update in 2019. Launched in 2016, it carried a hefty $20,000 price tag and was marketed as the ultimate long-distance beast for riders who wanted speed and comfort. But in 2025, this bike is worthless on the market, and the story is a cautionary tale for premium buyers. KTM's pricing is the first strike. $20,000 is steep when a Yamaha Tracer 9 GT offers similar features, 165 horsepower, cornering ABS, and heated grips for $15,000. US tariffs on motorcycle imports are hammering European brands like KTM, driving costs higher and making it a tough sell. Then there's reliability. Owners report electrical glitches, overheating issues, and premature clutch wear, especially on long rides. I saw a Reddit post where a guy said his $12,000 used Super Duke GT spent more time in the shop than on the road, racking up $2,000 in repairs in a single year. Dealers are slashing prices to $16,000, but the market's ice cold. Buyers are scared off by the horror stories. If you want a sport tourer, the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX is a better deal at $13,000 with fewer headaches and better fuel efficiency at 45 miles per gallon. The Super Duke GT is a money pit in 2025. Number 1. Ducati Monster 937. And the number 1 bike you should not buy in 2025, the Ducati Monster 937. This was Ducati's crown jewel of naked bikes. 937cc Testastrada engine, 111 horsepower, and Italian styling that turned heads when it launched in 2021. Priced at $12,500, it promised performance and prestige with a lightweight 414-pound frame and a quick shifter as standard. But in 2025, it's a total flop, and the story's a shocker for Ducati fans. Ducati's pricing is out of touch. $12,500 pits it against Japanese bikes like the Yamaha MT-09, which offers 119 horsepower for $9,500, with better reliability and cheaper parts. The Monster 937 hasn't kept up with the market's shift towards adventure bikes like the Triumph Tiger 900 or electric motorcycles like the Zero SRF, which are gaining traction with eco-conscious riders. Maintenance is a killer. Owners report $1,000 in service bills every 7,500 miles due to finicky electronics, premium Desmo valve adjustments, and pricey OEM parts. I checked the forum last week where a rider traded his Monster 937 for an MT-09 saying, "Saved my wallet." Ducati is a rich man's game. Dealers are dropping prices to $9,000, but even that's not moving units. Some lots have had the same bike since 2023. If you want a naked bike, the Suzuki GSX-8S is a better pick at $8,500 with 82 horsepower, a smoother ride, and lower maintenance costs. The Monster 937 is the king of worthless bikes in 2025.
You know that sinking feeling when you realize you've been duped? That's exactly what owners of these 13 bikes experience long before they hit the 5,000-mile mark.
That thing's gone, bro.
So we're going to do a stock of roast versus
Today, we're peeling back the glossy marketing to reveal the harsh truth behind these two-wheel money pits. If you're looking for reliability, these bikes will let you down in ways you wouldn't expect. Let's kick things off. Number 13. Harley-Davidson Street 500. Harley-Davidson, a name synonymous with rugged, long-lasting machines. But their entry-level Street 500? Not so much. Marketed as the perfect beginner bike, the Street 500 is plagued by engine and transmission problems. Reports of oil leaks, premature clutch failures, and overheating issues leave riders frustrated and stranded. Imagine setting out on your first long ride only to find your bike stalling on the highway. That's the reality for too many Street 500 owners. Despite its brand name, this bike often feels more like a starter headache than a reliable road companion. Beyond these mechanical woes, many owners complain about subpar build quality, with loose panels and deteriorating finishes appearing within months of use. Even worse, the Street 500 struggles with fuel efficiency, offering less than stellar mileage for an entry-level cruiser. For a Harley-Davidson, these flaws are simply unacceptable and tarnish the reputation of an otherwise legendary brand. Number 12. Royal Enfield Bullet 500. The Royal Enfield Bullet 500 boasts classic styling and a rich heritage, but beneath its vintage charm lies a litany of problems. Weak electrical systems, frequent oil leaks, and vibration-induced parts loosening make it a challenge to keep this bike running smoothly. Worse yet, its old-school engine design struggles with modern road demands. Many owners report breakdowns and expensive repairs well before hitting the 5,000-mile mark. The bike's vibration issues don't just make for an uncomfortable ride, they accelerate wear on critical components, leading to frequent visits to the mechanic. Riders also report that the suspension doesn't hold up under frequent use, making longer rides a pain. For a bike with such a storied past, its reliability leaves a lot to be desired. Enthusiasts might love its aesthetic, but they'll hate the constant upkeep it demands. Number 11. Ducati Scrambler 62. Ducati is known for its performance and style, but their Scrambler 62 has been a letdown in the reliability department. Engine oil leaks, electrical gremlins, and fragile clutch components are just a few of its recurring issues. Riders often find themselves at the dealership more than on the open road. For a bike designed to appeal to urban adventurers, it ironically seems allergic to consistent performance. Additionally, its suspension struggles to absorb road imperfections, leading to a rougher ride than expected. This is particularly disappointing for riders who hoped the 62 would offer the comfort and handling Ducati is famous for. The lack of durability in its parts, combined with a lackluster customer service experience for many owners, makes the Scrambler 62 more of a liability than an asset for anyone looking for a reliable ride. Number 10. BMW G310 GS. BMW's G310 GS promises adventure, but it delivers frustration for many owners. The small displacement adventure bike is notorious for stalling problems, overheating, and poor build quality. Complaints about its faulty fuel injection system and fragile gearbox make it clear this bike struggles with durability. Imagine gearing up for a scenic trail ride, only to have your bike sputter out halfway. Not exactly the adventure you signed up for. On top of that, owners often encounter issues with the bike's electronics, such as malfunctioning instrument clusters and unresponsive ABS systems. For a brand that typically stands for premium engineering, the G310 GS is a significant letdown. The bike's inability to handle rough terrain, despite being marketed as an adventure bike, only compounds the frustration for riders. Number 9. Triumph Street Triple R. Triumph's Street Triple lineup has its fans, but the lower spec R variant is riddled with issues. Riders report frequent electrical malfunctions, engine overheating, and quick-wearing brake pads. For a bike marketed as a do-it-all street machine, its constant trips to the workshop make it hard to trust for the long haul. Sure, it's fun while it works, but the price of keeping it on the road quickly adds up. Adding insult to injury, the bike's throttle response can feel inconsistent, particularly in lower gears, making it harder to control in tight city traffic. Its fuel tank range is also limited, which frustrates riders looking for a bike they can depend on for longer journeys. For a bike aimed at versatility, these problems significantly tarnish its appeal. Number 8. Indian Scout 60. The Indian Scout 60 promises big cruiser vibes in a more compact package, but beneath its stylish exterior lie numerous reliability concerns. Common complaints include leaking forks, faulty fuel pumps, and frequent engine overheating. Owners also note that its build quality feels subpar compared to other models in the Indian lineup. What should be a carefree cruiser often turns into a garage queen. Furthermore, the Scout 60's seating position, while initially comfortable, has been criticized for causing discomfort during longer rides. The chrome detailing, while aesthetically pleasing, tends to tarnish quickly, leading to high maintenance costs for those wanting to keep the bike looking pristine. When combined with its mechanical woes, it's clear this bike struggles to meet the expectations of cruiser enthusiasts. Number 7. KTM 390 Duke. The KTM 390 Duke may look like a sharp, lightweight performer, but it's a nightmare for long-term ownership. Faulty cooling systems, fragile engine components, and erratic electronics plague this bike. Riders often experience stalling, inconsistent power delivery, and unreliable performance, making it a risky choice for anyone hoping to rack up miles without constant repairs. KTM might call it ready to race, but for many owners, it feels more like ready to break down. Adding to its woes, the bike's lightweight frame, while excellent for handling, has shown weaknesses under prolonged stress, with cracks and structural issues becoming alarmingly common. These structural issues are particularly concerning for riders who demand durability and resilience, especially those tackling more demanding road conditions. Paintwork and finishes on the Duke 390 are also prone to early wear, which detracts from its appeal and significantly affects its resale value. KTM's broader market challenges exacerbate the 390 Duke's reliability concerns. The brand has faced declining customer satisfaction scores in recent years, stemming from widespread reports of supply chain inefficiencies and inconsistent service support. Riders frequently highlight long waiting times for spare parts, a significant inconvenience when critical repairs are needed. Moreover, the cost of these repairs often negates the bike's initial affordability, turning a seemingly budget-friendly option into a costly liability. The global market for lightweight sport bikes has grown increasingly competitive, but KTM's recurring issues with the 390 Duke have tarnished its reputation in this segment. What was once heralded as a revolutionary entry-level bike is now seen by many as a gamble. Despite its aggressive design and promising specifications, the KTM 390 Duke's real-world performance and long-term ownership experience often fail to meet expectations. For riders seeking a reliable partner on the road, the 390 Duke might leave them disappointed and disillusioned. Number 6. Moto Guzzi V85 TT. Moto Guzzi's V85 TT is marketed as a versatile adventure bike, but many riders find its reliability falls short of expectations. Frequent complaints include electrical failures, weak suspension components, and a tendency for the engine to overheat during long rides. Additionally, its shaft drive, while innovative, has been reported to fail prematurely, leaving riders with expensive repairs. For a bike designed to handle long distances and rugged terrain, its inability to maintain consistent performance is a major drawback. Many owners have expressed frustration, stating that the V85 TT spends more time in the shop than out on the trails. The bike's fuel economy has been criticized as subpar for its class, compounding frustrations for riders on extended journeys. Even the ride comfort, which should be a highlight for a touring-focused bike, falls short, with many owners reporting a stiff suspension that fails to absorb bumps effectively. Number 5. Norton Commando 961. The Norton Commando 961 promises timeless British design and heritage, but reliability issues plague this classic-inspired bike. At first glance, the Commando 961 is a nostalgic masterpiece, appealing to those who admire vintage aesthetics combined with modern engineering. However, the bike's promise of blending tradition with innovation often falls short. Many riders report oil leaks that seem to defy repeated repairs, inconsistent engine performance that makes it unreliable even for short commutes, and frequent electrical failures that leave owners frustrated and disappointed. The build quality, while elegant and visually appealing, doesn't stand up to the rigors of regular use. Chrome finishes tend to tarnish quickly, and bolts and fittings often loosen under the bike's excessive vibrations. Parts for the Norton Commando 961 are notoriously difficult to source, with limited availability even through official channels, leading to lengthy downtimes for repairs. Furthermore, the lack of a robust dealer network means riders are often left to rely on independent mechanics who may not be equipped to handle the bike's unique quirks. One owner remarked, "I bought it for the heritage, but it spent more time in my garage than on the road." That sentiment sums up the experience of many who invest in this bike, expecting iconic British engineering, but ending up with a machine that feels more like a museum piece than a reliable partner for the open road. For those who value both style and functionality, the Norton Commando 961 often leaves much to be desired. Number 4. MV Agusta Brutale 800. MV Agusta is known for its striking designs, but the Brutale 800 struggles to live up to its name in terms of reliability. Common complaints include overheating, gearbox issues, and frequent sensor failures. Despite its aggressive looks and powerful engine, the bike's high-maintenance nature turns off many potential buyers. Add to that the limited dealer network, and you have a bike that's more trouble than it's worth for most riders. Number 3. Aprilia RS 660. The Aprilia RS 660 may look like a middleweight masterpiece, but its early models have been riddled with teething issues. From stalling engines to failing electronics, owners report frequent problems that diminish the joy of owning such a visually appealing bike. Beyond engine stalls, riders highlight recurring faults with the quick shifter, often causing jerky gear changes that detract from the smooth riding experience Aprilia is known for. The bike's throttle response has also come under fire for being inconsistent, particularly during low-speed maneuvers, leaving riders feeling disconnected from the machine. Additionally, reports of excessive engine heat make it uncomfortable for riders during longer trips, especially in warm weather conditions. Despite its sharp styling and advanced tech like cornering ABS and riding modes, the RS 660's reliability struggles cast a shadow over its otherwise impressive spec sheet. Many owners feel that the bike's issues outweigh its performance potential, turning what should have been a category-defining motorcycle into a source of frustration. Number 2. KTM 1290 Super Duke GT. The KTM 1290 Super Duke GT is a beastly machine with an impressive performance pedigree, but its reliability record leaves much to be desired. Riders frequently report issues with the bike's electronics, such as malfunctioning traction control, ABS systems, and dashboard displays. The bike's complex engine management system, while offering advanced performance capabilities, is prone to glitches, leaving some owners stranded mid-ride. The frustration is amplified by the limited availability of KTM-certified repair shops, which means extended downtimes for repairs. Additionally, the Super Duke GT's cooling system has been criticized for its inability to handle prolonged high-performance use, often resulting in overheating during spirited rides or warm weather conditions. Riders have also noted issues with the suspension system, which, despite being electronically adjustable, sometimes fails to deliver the stability expected at this price point. While it excels in power and speed, its high maintenance demands, frequent software updates, and parts replacements make it a risky choice for long-term ownership. For those who crave adrenaline-fueled rides, the Super Duke GT may deliver thrills, but they come at the cost of reliability and peace of mind. Number 1. BMW R1250 GS. The BMW R1250 GS is a flagship adventure bike that promises the ultimate touring experience, but its reliability issues have become a growing concern for owners. Frequent complaints include shaft drive failures, excessive oil consumption, and recurring electrical faults, all of which can leave riders stranded in the most inconvenient situations. The bike's advanced features like adaptive cruise control, dynamic ESA suspension, and shift cam technology are undoubtedly impressive on paper, but they are prone to malfunctions that lead to costly and time-consuming repairs. One of the most troubling issues reported by owners is the frequent failure of the bike's TFT display, which often freezes or crashes mid-ride. This isn't just frustrating, it's a safety concern when you rely on the display for vital riding information. Furthermore, the R1250 GS's shaft drive, while offering smoother performance compared to chain-driven systems, has been known to fail prematurely. Replacing or repairing this critical component often comes with a hefty price tag. Adding to the frustration, riders have noted that the R1250 GS tends to overheat during long rides in warm climates, limiting its capabilities as a long-distance touring bike. Oil consumption is another common gripe, with many owners needing to top up oil far more frequently than expected for a premium machine. Despite its reputation as the king of adventure bikes, these recurring issues tarnish the GS's legacy and make it a less appealing option for those seeking reliability and low-maintenance performance. While the BMW R1250 GS excels in comfort, technology, and on-road performance when functioning correctly, the cost of ownership, both financial and emotional, has left many riders reconsidering their purchase. For a bike marketed as the pinnacle of adventure touring, the R1250 GS's reliability struggles are a stark reminder that even premium brands aren't immune to critical flaws. These 13 bikes may impress with their looks and brand reputation, but their mechanical flaws and frequent breakdowns make them less than ideal choices for long-term ownership. Do your research, weigh your options, and avoid falling for flashy marketing campaigns. Remember, the true cost of a bike is not just in the purchase price. It's in the time and money spent keeping it on the road. Ride smart, choose wisely, and enjoy a machine you can truly depend on.